So we are in a back-to-back recording at this point. For you, I don't know if you guys gonna see everything back to back or it's gonna be something like very in between. Like maybe I post 1 week. I don't know. But we're back once again with another deck profile in the Dragonverse channel. If you guys don't know me, my name is Alan. If it's the first video, of course. And I am responsible for Yu-Gi-Oh! Abyss. Some of you already probably know me, even if you watched the previous video, but if you don't, nice to meet you. Today, previously we did the Epsilon deck, right? The cloaked figure in Abyss Prologue 1 that took Jeffrey Winston's body and did all the stuff. And then now we go a few years later, right? Much back in 2019, where they spotted a champion that they wanted to recruit to their leagues, and that champion is Gale Darkwing. So Gale's deck was a suggestion from Spooky Electronics, actually. That is Tri-Brigade Fire King. It was a deck that I already seen a friend of mine actually play it more seriously. And I tried it recently as well, and it was pretty cool. I rebuilt the deck. This is the episode 0 canon deck of Gale. And the strategy is fairly simple. So the decks get each other, right? Like Tri-Brigade can get into Fire King and Fire King can get into Tri-Brigade because Kit is a fire monster. So stuff like, where is he? Here, Garunix can destroy the Kit from the deck, which Kit sends Nerval and then adds either Fractal or Karis to your hand, and then that's where you have your Tri-Brigade engine. And one Fractal in combo can get into Ponix, which means you can get into Fire Kings. And all the Fire Kings are pretty much Tri-types, so that's also to keep in mind. To have, just to refresh you all, Tri-type, when I say Tri-type, I'm meaning about Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast. Monsters that have these types are fairly important for this deck. Let's go quickly with the card by card and then I'll explain a bit of the stuff. So first we go with these, I guess I'll just talk with these first. Agnimo Candle is just a tuner that you can summon for free when you search it with Bonfire. That was a way just to make Crimson Blader. That was a spooky suggestion. So it's there. It's here. Yeah. Alpha, the Master of Beasts, that's a Tri-type that also good going second. It just summons itself, then bounce back, and bounce something as well. And also, like I said, it's a Tri-type. It doubles down for banishment or even discard, like with Kara's, which is very nice. Also appeared in the episode, do keep that in mind. Fire King Avatar Arvata, very nice monster as well. Like, you can set up this, which means you all have a monster negate, and that can pop and can spiral into other stuff. There's other gimmicks. There's another gimmick I'm gonna mention in this a little bit later that you guys gonna be seeing as soon as I get into the card. Fire King Avatar Barong. So Barong is just another combo piece you can get. Like, you're usually gonna destroy this with Garunix, like the good Garunix, like this guy. And then at the standby phase you can search. Sometimes you don't need it, but it's cool for this deck. Like, there's lines that you're gonna need it and then gonna search, I don't know, like a Kirin or a Ponix for next turn or anything on this sort. Fire King Avatar Garunix. This is just filler, honestly, just because it was a Fire King card. I wanted to put it in. I'll just admit it. Fire King Avatar Rank Bali. It's basically our Arvata, but for spell and traps. So he is a bit weaker though, because like while Arvata can revive something, this just doesn't revive anything. But it's still decent. Like, you could technically set it up with something else, and they have like a spell trap and again something else to do. It's pretty cool. Yaksha is just another filler. I'll admit when stuff is filler when it isn't. I guess it could do some stuff, but it was never the intention to just straight up play this card. Honestly, I just had the space and I just slapped them in. This is another starter, right? So it's Fire King Courtier Oconix. So Oconix can search Garunix, which is huge. Like, it means you can get into Tri-Brigades, like I mentioned, and you can get into Fire Kings even further. It has even some combos where you can use your Oconix mid-combo. with Promethean Princess. So, because like we can pop Oconyx, then somehow make Promethean Princess, then Promethean, bring back Oconyx, destroy the Promethean, not only setting up the Promethean Princess in the graveyard, but also searching something like a Kirin. You know, it's very nice. It's a starter and it does have some combo shenanigans. This is the brick for Oconyx, so just so you know. Tree Kirin, I just love this card. This card is so good. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. It can let you play on the opponent's turn very well because like you can pop any fire, summon itself, and then you happen to have also Garunix, like this guy specifically. You can just pop something on the opponent's turn. It works as a sort of a hand trap, which I think it's very nice. I just love this design, honestly. So I hope Konami does it more. 3 copies of Legendary Fire King Ponix. It's also another starter of the deck. That's how you get Island in rotation. And it also is the card that allows this little also link as well between Tri Brigade and Fire King, because it's a level 1, so it's very easy to search via Tri Brigades. And like I said, the Fire King engine already naturally gets into the Tri Brigade engine. So very cool. And also has other utility searchers that we're gonna go throughout the deck profile. I mean, actually, in fact, let's just talk about them now. Why not? Like, we can put them in here. Like, of course, you can get the standard Sanctuary into Island, right? Or sometimes even get straight into Island. I don't know why you would do that, but that's an option, technically. But you have other utility stuff. For example, Skyburn. Skyburn is a pop, right? Like, if you already have everything, you can just search this as an extra interaction, because you can pop stuff from your field and stuff from your opponent's field. And also, it has also a protection effect that if a Fire King cards you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can just banish this card instead, which is decent. There's also this that can technically be a reborn or dodge an interaction. Very nice as well. And this, which is filler, but it's cool. Like, you can just summon a guy from the deck for free and bam, do things. There's also this that you can technically search as well, right? But it's just filler as well, I'll admit. Garunix, that's one of the best cards in the deck. You just don't play multiples because it doesn't do anything on its own. But that definitely like makes the strategy. That's like the heart and soul of your grind, the heart and soul of your combos. Like, this card is just nuts. And you already have so many ways into it, so it's not like you're missing out on playing less copies, you know? Like, you might as well be playing like 9, 10, 13, like even counting the Tri Brigades to a degree. Like, you have a lot of copies of the Runics, by all means. But that do more stuff. Now, going here real quick with the Tri Brigade engine, right? It was very cool to just see Tri Brigade like being able to do all these things with this deck. Like, I just like when decks they stick together and they kind of search each other. Like, that's something I really like. So you have like Trifractal, very important card. You have also 3 Tanky to get into Fractal. You have 1 Karas, you only need 1, you don't need multiples. 3 Kit is also very nice because there's times you can normal summon her. She's a fire monster, she's just nice to draw. And Nerval to 2 because it's good into the grind. This is filler, not much to say about it. It's a E-Tally of some sort that locks you into links, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. See, like, you guys see that, like, I don't know that it's a filler card when I don't even remember much of the card itself. Standoff, also another filler card. Like, it locks you as well into Tri-types. The lock on this one is a bit lower, but it's just a filler card, honestly. Rendezvous is also filler, but it's a filler. I think it's interesting. It gives monsters that are linked 700 attack, which is very nice. Like, it could be an interesting battle trick. And also has protection. So again, it's just okay. Tri-Brigade Showdown is just another filler as well. But it has some other applications, right? Like, it recycles your Tri-Brigades back. And also, if your Tri Brigade battles a monster, you just bounce them, which is very cool. Also, filler. We don't play this. We don't. I don't usually like this card as well, but hey, we're playing it too. It's basically a negate as well, technically. Like you could like send a spell and negate a monster effect, and you have quite plenty of spells like Red Rendezvous. That's like the strongest one you could send, honestly. But you can also send monsters and change them to zero, so it's technically a battle trick as well. Revolt is very nice. It is a staple in Tri Brigade for since forever, I guess. It just summons a bunch of guys, and then you can immediately link someone with them. That's how you make Shurake the opponent's turn. That's why you also play your Shurake. This card is also filler. Some people used to play this in the past. I just don't think it's that good. But yeah. Triple Tenki. Like I said, search Fractal. Simple as that. Okay. Now the gimmick, right? So, like with Epsilon, the gimmick was to give monsters to the opponent, so your Dogmatica Matrix will get the full value. In this deck can play pretty much in like the damage step, damage calc parts of the game, right? And I learned this a lot because in more competitive games, sometimes just normal summoning an Oconyx and attacking to a monster could lead into like a bunch of stuff happening during the damage step, which usually it's off limits of negation or interaction, and then dealing with a lot of stuff. Like I did this a lot into Rizio. Like I would just put a lot of pressure, and then suddenly I would have like a bunch of monsters that Rizio would have to deal with out of just one card. With that gimmick in mind, I decided to play 3 UFO Turtle. That's because UFO Turtle, when it's destroyed by battle, it can summon a fire monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck. So this can float into stuff like Oconyx, for example. And then Oconyx on summon, since it's still like in the... I'm not gonna remember exactly like the damage stuff. I'm not too good with the steps. Like I'm gonna say damage step for the sake, but if it isn't, you guys know what I mean, right? Oconyx will summon itself on that point, and it will use its effect to pop and search. And there was almost nothing that's gonna interact with it except like stuff that negates activation. So Oconyx will pop Gagarunix, and then we can go like Garunix summon pop, and then do even more stuff like. And Oconyx popping, attacking into it to summon something else. You can do so much stuff. And I like this gimmick for this deck, so we're playing the UFO Church to just facilitate that. Consistency card, Pot of Prosperity. Like I said in the Epsilon video, this card is just the most versatile card in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, and you should be playing it. Damage Condenser and Damage Diet are also cards, like those 3 cards really. They also are cards that facilitate or incentivize this sort of gameplay. Like Condenser, when you take battle damage, you discard 1 and you summon from the deck a monster with less than or equal to the battle damage you take, right? Usually you can summon Oconyx, you can summon UFO Turtle, and many other stuff. Damage Diet halves the damage. Like, if you're ramming into monsters, you're gonna be taking a shit ton of damage. So, stuff like Damage Diet will just have that damage, and then so that means you can deal, we can attack and stuff, but we're not gonna feel too low, right? We can also even crash into bigger monsters with this, especially with impenetrable attack as well, which means you take no battle damage. You can also use the effect to cannot be destroyed by battle. It could come up, but I personally think that you're just gonna use you take no battle damage, so you can just keep ramming your stuff into it. Like I've been doing in testing with the guys, and it was pretty fun. Power Wall technically could be the same and also doubles down as something that mills tri-types. Like, I feel it's pretty nice. Like, that's all I have to say about it. Torrential Tribute is just another generic good card. Like, this deck floats off destruction, so we can Torrential Tribute, destroy everything, and then they will all float, so we barely lose anything, if we lose anything. Waboku is just here because I use it in the show. On a side note, I put it in the side deck some cards that you could technically be in Gale's deck for scripting, but I don't include them in here because this deck is for a more casual group. right? Like in which we avoid using those hand traps. But that doesn't mean I won't be considering using those cards for scripting. For example, Ash Blossom, because it's a fire monster that also is a hand trap, could be very useful for some scripting purposes. Same for DD Crow, which is a banish, a tri-type, very nice. And the bane of some people's existence, but at the same time the messiah of this game, Mo Charmy Fualas. Yeah, this thing is a wing beast. Why? I don't fucking know. And Garuda is another option for one of the monsters in your action deck that if you watch the Epsilon video, you'll know it's Bucephalus, right? Like it's an option set with Bucephalus. Although in this deck you have more targets than Garuda, right? Compared to Epsilons at least. But it's an option that I might want for scripting at some point. Crimson Blader. So Crimson Blader, also suggestion from Spooky. It appeared in the episode, so it's here. Yeah, not much to say about it, honestly. Garunix Eternity, it is the main card of Gale, like one of Gale's biggest like boss monsters, which just nukes the board of monsters when it's Xyz summon. It has also a back row removal effect as well, which is nice. And when it's destroyed, it floats into a number of Fire King monsters from the grave equal to the materials it has. So very nice. Like you can do some cool plays like destroying and summoning two guys back. It's very nice. You can do it yourself, okay? It doesn't need to be the opponent, just so you know. Double Dragon Lords, it's an option. You can cheat out with the Tri Brigades. It's an interaction. I like this card. This card is very nice. And yeah, pretty good. The Little Chimera did appear in Abyss Prologue too. And also it's a decent card. Like you can float into Kirin. You can float into other stuff. It's just a nice card. I'm not gonna say this name, but I'm gonna call it the Desperate Doom Eagle, right? Another thing that you can cheat out with Tri Brigades. This is more graveyard interaction compared to Double Dragon Lords, which is a field interaction. Promethean Princess, that's just a staple in almost any fire deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. If your deck is a fire-focused deck, you're definitely going to make this card. This card is just too good. It has follow-up, it's interaction, it just does so much. Almirage is similar to Epsilon's deck. You link it off your monsters for it. But this one is a bit different, right? Because in Epsilon's deck, it was just for the sake of having an extra deck monster on the field. But in this deck, you usually link off Kid or Nerval, and then you can like search Tri Brigade, because Kid can send Nerval to search, and if you just get Nerval, you just straight up search. That's a way to start your engine in some cases. Another one is also interesting is Scareclaw Lightheart, because Scareclaw Lightheart can be cheated out by the Tri Brigades because it's a Beast Warrior. Very easy, just by banishing one, and then it basically turns into like a one card link to, which can be useful in some cases for unbricking. I already talked about Bucephalus, but in this deck, you actually make this guy sometimes. Very sometimes, because it needs 3 or more Tri Brigade spell and traps in the grave, which... Why? Why? Like, just why, honestly? It feels kind of pointless. But hey, he's here. Bearbrum, that's how you search your Revolt. You can search other stuff if you already have Revolt, but... that's usually gonna search Revolt. There's also another combo piece. Like Frederick can summon something from the hand for free, and that's how you can cheat. You can summon Ponix and some other stuff. It can also unclog some hands. I just think it's nice. This is just a link tree. Like probably one of the best like non-commitment link trees you can make for this deck. Because you can simply just summon this. If it sticks on the field, it could be an interaction if you have a Chureg on the field. But also it's follow-up, so I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good for what it's worth. And Chureg, you need 2, okay? Just so you're wondering, you need 1 for the combo and 1 for the Revolt, because you're usually making this turn 1 in the Tri Brigade line, and the second one you make with Revolt, like I said. So that's it for Gale's deck. The next one you guys gonna be seeing probably is gonna be Jesters. Like I said, I don't know how it's gonna be. It's gonna everything be released like the same day, or it's gonna be separate days. whichever it is, just look forward to it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Peace.